cannot sit at home, and thank you so much for joining me. In this video, we are going, in my opinion, to the most beautiful place, location in Ontario, which is Lake Huron. Specifically, we're going to visit the Bayfield and Goderich towns on this trip, but also on the way there, we're going to stop over at Stratford, and on the way back, we're going to stop over at St. Jacobs. The first stop is the Revival House. This is located in Stratford. I would say it's about an hour and a half from Toronto. It is essentially an old church that is now refurbished to be a really nice restaurant. And not only inside is it really pretty, outside is also really gorgeous. You can sit down and it's all lush and lots of greenery and flowers. When we were in Stratford in the winter, Revival House was closed. I'm not sure if that was just for some kind of a reason or it does close in the winter, but right now is October, it was open. The outside was also open. As I understand, the cuisine is French cuisine, and also, of course, you can order a variety of drinks. So in terms of food, I got a hamburger with Caesar salad, and my mom, who was on this trip with me, she got a trout pate with pickled grapes and some crackers. The burger was good, it was decent. The pate was a little too small of a portion for its price. The prices for the burger was about $26 because the salad is a bit extra. And for the pate, I think it was about $21. So it's a little small portions for the price, but then again, I know it's the economy, so I don't want to judge. But I wish there was a bit of a bigger portion specifically for the pate. Upstairs, they also have a really lovely area. This is sort of their bar. As I understand, a lot of people do events such as weddings at this church, which is, of course, is a really beautiful and perfect place. And upstairs is sort of like their kind of pre-drinks section. Another really cool spot that you need to check out while in Stratford is the Wild Hog Country Market. Over here, we got the Gouda limoncello, cheese, and what else did we get? Pistachio Gouda over here, Netherlands, very interesting. So they have a lot of really cool kind of food items, and we wanted something for later on for the dinner. They had a number of chicken sandwiches. They also in the morning have lots of really good baked goods. This was kind of, I think it was about 1 o'clock, so a lot of baked goods were already sold out. And over here we also picked up really nice jam, specifically the fig preserve. So another stopover on our way to Lake Huron was the town of St. Mary's. Really adorable town. I remember somebody has suggested that I check out St. Mary's, and I bookmarked. So if you're the person who has suggested, thank you so much. We really enjoyed it. Very cool town, very unusual, I would say, for Ontario. Just kind of in its center, we saw at least, I think, 5 bridges. So you can go around from bridge to bridge. They have kind of nice pathways. Really lots of water. I think 2 rivers meet here, and not only that, they have little falls. They are literally called little falls on the map, and that's how they look. Very pretty. This was already a cloudy day. It was kind of raining too, on and off, but I would imagine during a sunny day it would be just such a pretty place to check out. The town had a main street. On the main street we checked out a flower shop. We checked out a few crafts, kind of DIY stores, knitting stores, and what else did we see? We saw a bakery and a secondhand store that had a lot of cool items. There were even more stores that we could have checked out, but we were on a time crunch. Another really cool stop over on the way was the Leaton Farm. And by the way, I'm going to put the links to these locations down below so you can check them out if you would like to. They have a farm stand and, of course, a number of pumpkins right now. I specifically was very impressed by the coolness of the gourds that they had. Check out this one. It looks literally like some kind of a dinosaur's or dragon's arm. Here's inside of the store. They have a number of dried flowers. The owners, by the way, were so lovely. You could tell that there's a lot of care and love that goes into this farm. And the flower bouquets were just so beautiful. Definitely one of my favorite times of the year is the end of the summer because there's so many gorgeous flowers. And outside, totally for free, you get to check out their alpacas and their goats kind of roaming around. You cannot go inside, but they're just right behind the fence, so they will sniff you. You can feed them. They have like a little station that you can purchase some feed. These guys were so cute. This one tried to chew off my finger. That was nice. And then when I kept walking, they kept following me. I want to remind you that if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. Only 7% of people who watch me actually subscribe to me. So let's get that number a little bit higher. And I also am trying to get to 10,000 subscribers, hopefully soonish. So please help me out with that. So over here we have finally arrived. This is Goderich, well, almost Goderich, just like maybe 5 minutes away from Goderich, Ontario. This is on Lake Huron. And the first person that greeted us was this lovely cat, so that was very nice. We are staying at an Airbnb. I'm gonna link it down below. It's a really beautiful Airbnb. Here's a tour. You have your living room. By the way, this is a basement unit. Over here is a bathroom. Over here is a full kitchen with all of the appliances you could want, table. And then there's 2 bedrooms, and in each of the bedrooms there is a queen-size bed. Very spacious. I can see this being a perfect family getaway. I can see this being perfect maybe girlfriend getaway spot for 2 or for 4 people. So when you walk outside, by the way, the pool is also, you can swim if you want to, but it was a little chilly for us. This was beginning of October. So when you go outside, you will see the staircase, and then you kind of follow the staircase, and it's fairly long, but I think you can already see there is some, some water over there showing through. And at the end of the staircase, you will see the Lake Huron. Here we are, and there was pretty much nobody on the beach. I think at one point there was a couple over there trying to make a fire, but even then they left. So complete kind of all the beach to yourself with the beautiful sunset coming up. So this is where our cheese came very handy. So we got the Asiago, and then we got that limoncello one, cut it up. We had the cups from the owners, and just, yeah, enjoyed the light dinner and snacks right as the sunset was setting down. We try to go to Lake Huron at least once a year, and this has been happening for good maybe 15 years that I've been going here at least once a year. Usually Goderich, sometimes Bayfield. They're somewhat different but also quite similar. And yes, again, for me, it's the beauty, it's the crazy beautiful water, it's the sunsets. So after the dinner we climbed up, which was quite the challenge, as it was a lot of stairs, but it was definitely worth it. And the night went well, very comfortable Airbnb. In the morning we went to Goderich, as there was a place to get a breakfast. The name of the place is Kate's Cafe. Very cozy place. Over here is me very sleepy. The reason why I wanted specifically this place is they have a number of sandwiches that go onto the croissants. I got the one with chicken, bacon, and veggies, and then we also got a number of baked goods. And where did we go with all of that food? You guessed it, we went right back to the beach. So as you can see, the lighting is a bit different because this is in the morning. The turquoisey water is a bit more turquoisey, but the sun is still not there. We're kind of waiting for the sun, and meanwhile we just kind of went for a walk. Here is the sun waking up, and the turquoiseness is starting to be more saturated. The rocks at this beach are so beautiful. I love kind of seeing the pretty ones. When we were at this beach, it was funny, but the smell was so bad. The smell of like, yeah, poop. And there was a lady, and we asked, what is happening? Why the smell? And she told us that once a year or twice a year they fertilize, and we were lucky enough to be on that day. But honestly, it didn't even bother us because just look at this view, look at this color of the water. Such a beautiful morning. So at this point we checked out and we headed for the town of Bayfield. Bayfield is, I would say, maybe about 15 minutes from where we were sleeping in Goderich, and it's a really picturesque town. I would consider it more of a tourist town versus Goderich. There's a main street Over here we checked out a coffee shop in the marina, and they were moving the boats over there. So the coffee shop is called the Wharf Cafe, and you can sit and just look at this channel of water. Here's the selection of baked goods. They also had ice cream. We just wanted a coffee and a baked good, and we had to fight for it with this wasp or bee, I'm not sure, but it did taste amazing. And here we are going to the pier of Bayfield. It's a fairly long pier that's kind of sticking out into the water. There's always lots of fishermen. There's lots of boats, so very active pier. There's like stuff happening. At one point I just sat down on one of the benches and just watched the life go by, and it was really beautiful. Sometimes I find when I'm on these road trips, it's a go, go, go. So it's important for me. I'm trying to concentrate on like stopping and sitting down and just taking in the moment, especially when it's so beautiful. Right by the pier, there is a nice little beach. We chilled out over there, and then we headed for the town. So the Yellow Man is kind of like the signature of Bayfield. In the park nearby, they had a market. I think this was a witch-themed market, so lots of cool witchy things and tarot readers, things like that. And then we continued going down the main street and just window shopping. They had a really beautiful art gallery over here. Then there are a number of clothing stores. This one in particular had jewelry. And there's one store that kind of had all of the thematic of the Great Lakes and locals only, that kind of touristy stuff. But I also usually get a hoodie when on these trips. I decided not to go for it, though the Great Lakes hoodie, I was considering that. It definitely is pretty cool, especially Great Lakes unsalted over there. That's very nice. And over here, just want to point out, one of the last trips that we've been here, we stayed at this place called Albion Hotel, which by the way is also a pub. So on the second level, there are rooms, you can stay there. I think we booked through Airbnb. So what's interesting about this place is that it's actually haunted. They even have a book inside that hotel telling you that essentially, yes, it is a haunted hotel. Which I only found out after we already booked it and were supposed to be sleeping in it. But to be honest, nothing bad happened. Copenhagen's is another place that you can get some really nice ice cream and just lots of other cutie home decor, clothing stores that it just you can probably spend good couple hours just checking out all of the stores. We checked out, I would say maybe 5, and then we headed for the Pioneer Park. By the way, the parking everywhere is free. At least in Bayfield. In Goderich, I'll talk a little bit. There is one spot that was paid, but most of the parking in this road trip was free, which is amazing. Look at that turquoise color. I'm sorry I keep saying about the water, but that's my favorite part. It's just such a bright, bright color. I do know that this bright color is only in the first half of the day. In the later half of the day, the sun, I think the angle is different, so it's not as bright. And over there is a man swimming, so I just want to remind you, this is beginning of October. The temperature is nice. The temperature is about 15 degrees, maybe even a bit better, maybe like 18 degrees. But brave of him to be swimming there. And by the way, if you would like to, you can actually go all the way down to the shore from the Pioneer Park. We did not do it because it's quite a hike, but you can if you want to. It's a fairly nice beach, similar to where we were at the Airbnb. And just to let you know, I have released a really fun book. It's called Free or Almost Free Ontario Destinations, with lots of cool information and some really awesome road trips. And now that we are heading into the fall, I also have a very similar book about road trips in Ontario in the fall and winter time. And of course, both of these books are going to be linked down below. So over here, we want to check out Out of the Blue Seafood Market, because I've read that they have some fresh fish that they fry. So this is a market, of course, seafood market, but they also have a section here with the fried fish. And oh my gosh, this was so fresh, so tasty. The fries, the fish, the sauces, everything was just so on point. They had a daily special that was, I think, $10. And then we got another fish. So for the two of us, this was plenty, and both enjoyed it so very much. And over here is the market section. You can get any kind of fish you would like. As I understand, half of them are local, half of them are just like Atlantic and imported. In terms of their fridge, they had, of course, the fish, breaded fish, but was also really cool is they had oysters, they had snow crab over here, and they even had lobster meat. Just really cool market. If I was to be living in the area or staying in the area for, let's say, a week or so, I would definitely get some of this fish and fry it up. Another location in Goderich that you need to check out while here is Surf's Up. At first you walk in and it's kind of a surfing shop, skating shop, lots of things that are for that. But what I want to check out over here specifically is at the very back there's a coffee shop. And not only that, but they have a skating area that, you know, skaters can come in, get a coffee and skate away. There was nobody here because this was very early in the morning. Definitely would have been cool to have coffees and check out some of the skaters. Outside we were greeted by really cute dogs, so I just had to film them. And over here is the lighthouse of Goderich, and again you can go downstairs if you want to, and it's that same bright turquoise water. So by now you can already tell we are heading to Goderich, and this is the Goderich beach. The parking, by the way, over here is paid, but when we were here in October it's free. So in the summer, just watch out, it is paid in the summer. And here's another magical sunset that we experienced at Goderich. Absolutely lovely yet again, and I loved how so many people were doing the same thing, kind of like getting together. Weekend sunsets are definitely an event in a town. We stayed the second night at the Comfort Inn in Goderich, and over here I'm just showing you the breakfast. I didn't even film the room. It was a nice room, nothing, you know, it was a great hotel, nice room, but just very generic, nothing specifically to film. But I did enjoy their breakfast. Here's all of the stuff that they had. It's rare that a hotel stay includes breakfast, which I think is excellent. Here we are at the parking lot, just getting ready. So at this point, we're heading back. We spent 2 days and 2 nights so far in the Huron area, and now it's time to head back. This was a 3-day kind of getaway. Over here is a bakery. It's called Bartliff's Restaurant and Bakery. It's about 10 minutes from Goderich. I've been here before and I really liked it. So you can have a breakfast here if your hotel doesn't include it. And they have the craziest amount of baked goods, pies, things like that. Just really good quality. There's definitely somebody very talented making all of these pastries. Look at these eclairs, oh my gosh. And over here we had mocha circle and Nanaimo bar. And let me tell you, that mocha circle, oh my gosh, it's so good. I don't know what's in it. There's some gooiness, but there's also a cookie. And Nanaimo bar was also really, really good, but it's the mocha circle that had us. We actually went back for the second one. And on our way, we stumbled upon the cows. We had to say hi to the cows because that's just what you do when you see cows. And they were very curious about us. So now we are at St. Jacobs, town of St. Jacobs, specifically their antique market. Now, I've heard so many things about this. I love antiquing. I've done a number of videos about it. And so many times people have recommended me to go and check it out. And to be honest, it's fairly far from the city, so I never really had the time. And now I'm finally checking it out, and oh my gosh, I thought that this was a really, really good vintage / antique shop. The reason why I like it specifically and I want to single this out is it has this like country feel, but good country feel, like quality vintage stuff and antique stuff. In the city, I find a lot of antique markets, they sort of have stuff from like 80s and 90s that are mass produced, where in here, there is some of that, but majority of the stuff is really beautiful. Over here, I was really considering the pillow, buying that pillow. Another thing I loved about this market is, this antique market, is that the people, the vendors of each booth, they like, some of them go all out. Like this guy over here, there's a only for display kind of lamp. Like it's not even for sale, it's just for this beautiful showmanship. And by the way, this furniture piece over here, I thought it was interesting, so I was kind of looking at it, only then to realize that it's from 1668. That is absolutely insane. Over here, as it's coming closer to Halloween, they decorated the booth with the kind of Halloween theme, and another booth over here with this like I don't know if this is Halloween or this is just how their booth looks like. But again, you can see that there's this ambiance, and I love how many of the vendors kind of go and really make it quite the experience. This guy really scared me, this this mannequin. I think they're just working on it, and that was really scary. Some of the vendors are more simple, some do not go all out. Over here I thought was interesting. This is a hornet's nest, and for $75 this piece of, I don't know, decor could be yours. Here's a wall hanging one. Definitely eclectic. And then I stumbled upon this. So this booth is called Wallace Home. You can find them actually on Instagram, and they're specifically so unique because they managed to dry up peonies, and peonies are actually one of my favorite flowers. And this is hilarious. Tim Hortons Justin Bieber little bag for $34. I'm pretty sure it was in Tim Hortons last year, so not yet vintage, not yet antique, but nice try. This vase, when I saw this vase, I was enamored and I actually got it. It is currently part of my collection. I'm very happy about it. It was from the 60s from Canada. And here's just lots of different cutlery, really beautiful, very ornate. I was thinking if I need it, I do love beautiful cutlery, but I decided not to go for it. And what I did go for is this rolling pin for only $12. It actually doesn't look that used, so I'm not sure if this is vintage or not, but I needed a rolling pin. Also love this ashtray and just how beautiful this is. It's $128 and it was very heavy, but it's quite beautiful piece. Here's another booth that I thought was really, trying to embrace the style of it, so like all about music, very cool. St. Jacob's Country Gardens was another place that I got recommended by one of my followers, and it was a beautiful garden center. They have like a number of waterfalls, which is so cool, a number of fountains, and they even had koi fish, which were really hungry and wanted me to feed them, but there was no feed. Right now, as it's coming closer to the end of the planting season, they don't have as many flowers, but they did have a number of bushes. We actually got here a hydrangea bush for a fairly good price. I think they had like 25% off. So pretty nice garden center. In the summer, definitely I can see it being more with flowers, but right now is just a number of bushes. Another amazing place on the way back to the city from Huron area is Elora. And specifically right now, Elora, right before Halloween, what they have is, it's called Monster Month. So the whole town is decorated with these white sculptures. I'm going to show you more in a second. But over here we are at many of the cutest Elora stores. There's definitely lots to do in this town. If you've never been, you have to go. Many really cute stores, restaurants, coffee shops, things like that. The name of the artist who creates these sculptures for actually almost 2 decades now is Tim Mertens. I think it started fairly small, but then it just kind of grew and grew in popularity and in size. And I try to check it out if I can almost yearly. And again, check out many of the cool stores. This one over here specifically is all about glass and some really beautiful items. I actually find Elora really pretty any time of the year. I remember being here in the winter, like in the middle of the winter, and I still enjoyed my time here. It's such a cute little town. It's definitely touristy, but not to the extent that it's too much. Just love the dedication of the businesses of like putting those white sculptures in the middle of their patio. So cool. So over here, this is sort of like the main park of the town. It's in the very center of Elora. Lots of sculptures, and here are the buildings. I don't know if those are condos or this is going to be a hotel that are being built. And here's kind of the old part of the town, really adorable. There's a number of bridges. When I was there was also a wedding shoot. Just very nice. This store in particular is called A Natural Home, and they had the coolest backyard. You have like a little greenhouse over here, so you come from the inside, you go outside in the backyard, only to go back into this really cool greenhouse. After that, it's about 2-hour drive back to Toronto if you're from Toronto. And that concludes this trip. I think this is definitely one of the most beautiful trips you can do in Ontario, if not the most beautiful. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.